Okay, we're happy to welcome Washington head coach Mike Hopkins and student athletes Jamal Bay and Nate Roberts. We will go straight into questions. Please feel free, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Anybody? I know Eldridge in the back.
Yeah, I think I did go to UW, so I guess I'll get it started. Eldridge Ricaz and Pac-12 Network. Coach Hop, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
New year, man. Completely new team, with the exception, I think, of the two guys that's up there and maybe three other guys. So just talk about the adjustment of starting pretty much all over. Yep, Coach Hop.
You know what? It's really exciting. Obviously, Jamal and Nate have been great leaders. Cole Badgema, Riley Sorn coming back with some of our players. And getting some, we took advantage of the transfer portal. Being able to go out there and get experience. You got four guys from the greater Seattle area, Washington area, and Dejan and Terrell Brown and Emmett Matthews and P.J. Fuller. And then getting a great junior college transfer, Langston Wilson, and then having two freshmen, and Jackson Grant, who was a McDonald's All-American, and Samuel Arvidi, who's a kid that just keeps working hard. And got two new coaches, and Y. King Jones and Quincy Pondexter. And we're just really excited. There's great energy. We added experience. We got length and athleticism. And, still have a long way to go because we're learning a new system. But when you have leadership like these two guys who have helped the newer guys and how we're going to do things, how we operate, how the coaching staff is, I think it's been to our advantage. So we're really excited about this season.
Cool. So, Nate, just seeing you, man, I know a lot of people in here probably seeing you for the first time in person. I mean, just impressive body, kind of reminds me of Dwight Howard. Just talk about your role this year versus last season, and what's your expectations coming into this year?
The biggest thing for me this year, my expectations, is to come together as a team. That's the main thing. Kind of for me, coming off of last year, my role is kind of the same, being a leader, being that guy, that anchor in the middle, down low. But also for the new guys that we got coming in, got a lot of new faces, a lot of new roles that got to be defined and things like that. Just helping them out any way possible, and just being a service to them, knowing that everything is a first go around for them. So being that voice, being that veteran for them, that's my biggest thing for this year.
Gotcha. And Jamal, I kind of cornered you outside for the folks in here that may not know. I played at the University of Washington, and I wore number 5. So I told them, when you put that number 5 on, there's expectations. You had a really breakout year last year. I think you were Pac-12 Player of the Week. You went off. So what's your mindset coming into this season? I mean, you're pretty much the leader. I love your game, by the way. I love the way you play. I told you out there I just would like to see you be more aggressive. But just talk about what your mindset is coming to this season.
Yeah, for sure. Just like Nate said, just being the leader out there once again this year and being more aggressive. I think that's my role for sure, being more aggressive, shooting the ball more, and and then also leading on the defensive end. I've been here. I've played all 4 years, so showing the young guys, showing them how to do it, and yeah, those are the biggest keys for sure.
Any other questions? We'll go to PJ in the back.
PJ Carlissimo, Pac-12 Network. Nate and Jamal, it's kind of a unique experience. You guys were there. Jamal playing. I mean, you've won conference championships. Talk to me about what's transpired since the end of last season, your off season, the program you guys had. I had a chance to watch you practice this week. Why is this team going to be different, and what have you guys seen? What were the things that you saw and were a part of that enabled you guys to be successful, and what are those things, hopefully, that are going to make that happen again this year?
Of course. The biggest thing that I would say the difference is, Coach Hop always harps on, usually the tougher team usually wins, and the more together team usually wins. So I think for us, the key component of that is just being a tougher together team. That's been kind of, what we've been harping on this year. With the guys this year, we were super close. That kind of just happened instantaneously as soon as we got together in June. So just working on that this offseason, creating a team before we got on the court, getting to know each other, trust each other, things like that. So when we got on the court, the job was really easy. So I think that's the biggest thing that's going to contribute to us winning this year and making a difference.
Yeah, those are great points, and also just being competitive every day in practice, trying to win every drill, trying to win every little thing we do. We do little games of defense, and we try to win all those first before anything comes first. So just stuff like that, just being competitive no matter what, and just being dogs, being gritty, and just being tougher together.
Go to Dan in the back right.
Hi, Coach. Dan Belwamity, Pac-12 Network. How you doing? I wanted to get a little bit of a feel of, with a new group, new players, how you're going to play defensively this year, and maybe any changes you might make offensively.
Do you know what we've talked about it? We've been a zone program. That's what we've hung our hat on. It's been proven over time as a systematic way to win. The first 2 years, we were number one in defensive efficiency in our league. In our third year, we were fourth. Last year, we were 12th. It was the one thing we had to fix. Bottom line, defense travels. Defense is going to be there when you need it. These guys know it. The new guys are learning it. The one thing I will say about the new guys is they all came from really good defensive man-to-man programs. They have a defensive mindset, but they're still learning a new system. That's where they've come along. Cole Badgemo, first year last year in the zone. Nate knew the zone, but last year was his first year really playing 25 minutes a game and doing those things. So he's going to be way better in it. He already is. You already see the development and those types of things. And that's what's really exciting. You're always, the key is make sure you get good shots. Jamal took good shots last year, 52% from the three-point line. We're going to need that and more. But the exciting thing is we've got defensive guys coming in that are committed to it. They've been taught it. Now it's just the zone is a little bit different than man. And they're going to have to unlearn a few things that they've already learned that will make our defense better. In practice, you can see the development, but you can see the belief. And the most important thing is when they believe in what you're doing. And don't forget, Emmett Matthews played against Syracuse in the Sweet 16 last year. He felt the zone. Terrell Brown, Dejon Davis have played against the zone. They know what it feels like when it's stifling. And then on top of it, we scrimmaged TCU, 2 years ago, when P.J. Fuller was a freshman. So they haven't actually played it, but they've played against it, and they felt it, and they know what it feels like. And going back to the tougher together piece, I'd asked Jamal, and I asked him the other day, probably about the other day, a month ago. I said, Jamal, what did you talk to me about the team? And he said, it's one of the closest teams I've ever been a part of. And I think that's the thing where last year so many teams dealt with the COVID of not having team building and being together. And then it was just a tough year. So that's what's been exciting so far is the new energy, the new staff, the new players, and teaching them and learning them. And that experience, not too many people have these guys are seniors. I'm not going to say that they got one more year left, but they're seniors. And we got two guys coming in that are fifth year and 6-year seniors, guards. That experience matters. So really excited, but it's still a long way to go.
Go to Kevin in front.
Kevin Dan with Pac-12 Networks. This question's for Nate. I was curious, what did you work on the most this offseason? How have you felt your game improve year by year during your time on Montlake?
To answer your first question, the biggest thing that I worked on this offseason was just slowing down, watching a lot of film, picking the nuances of my game and slowing down because a lot of times I felt like I was being rushed. The game was kind of moving faster than my body was going. So just slowing down, focusing on footwork, focusing on a lot of touch, focusing on where I'm going to get the ball in offense and how can I score off of that, how can I make opportunities for my teammates off of that. So those were the biggest things, and also just working on my body more, just being more in shape. That's the biggest thing when you're going to play 25-plus minutes a game. You know, got to be in the best shape of your life. You got to be in world-class shape, as Coach Hop says. So that was the biggest thing. And as far as, you know, my development over the course of being here, I think just understanding the college game is different from high school. It's different from AAU. It's unlike anything you really can ever notice, especially at a high level. So just understanding that, knowing the spacing, knowing, you know, the plays, knowing the type of defensive coverages, things like that, and adjusting my game to it, I think that was the biggest thing in my progressiveness throughout the college.
Go to Rocco on the right.
Hey, Coach Hop, Rocco Miller, Bracketeer.org. I got a question for you. Actually, Jamal, you answered my first question. It's good to hear that you're going to be shooting more this year. I think a lot of us would like to see that, great percentages. I think just a couple of the areas, the last couple of years, there's been some deficiencies in getting to the foul line, offensive rebound percentage, and non-steal turnovers. These are some advanced metrics, but like you would kind of consider that like an unforced error, sloppy turnover. Are there things being done in the offseason and now in practice to address some of the basic fundamentals on offense and then maybe attack more on the glass? And then a follow-up question, how big of an impact is White King Jones making already with folks like Nate Roberts and everybody trying to address those?
Great questions. And, you know, you go back to, you know, historically how we were defensively. When I gave you the numbers, one of our weaknesses has been offensive rebounding, turn the ball over. And, you know, the one thing I love when you talk about bringing a guy like Terrell Brown coming back, he had a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio last year. Dejon Davis, Jamal is a great ball handler. And so we've got really good ball handlers. I think that's an upgrade. I feel like, and you guys haven't been to practice, but I think this guy's one of the best offense rebounders that I've ever been around in terms of going after it, and we've had one. Now we've got 3 or 4. Langston Wilson, a new guy. Emmett Matthews is one of his strengths when he was at West Virginia. Samuel Arvidi, guys who really go out and go after the offensive glass. And, you know, sometimes those things are taught, and sometimes those things happen by guys who just have that instinct. And, you know, that's what's exciting. That's where we've showed a lot of improvement in terms of the guys that we've brought in. Again, like I said, we still have a long way to go, but I think right then in terms of personnel, we've already improved in those 2 areas. And then defensively, still have a lot of work to do, but that's what's exciting about this team. The unselfishness, the togetherness, and most importantly, the toughness.
Go to Troy Clardy on the right.
Mike, you mentioned Dejon a couple times already in this chat. How critical, not just is his experience, but his Pac-12 experience, how critical could that be bringing that into the squad?
Well, again, when you have really good guards and you have really good players, I mean, you've gotten more dump-offs. He's gotten more wide-open threes. He shoots from 52%. You know, really good guards, playmakers make everybody around them better. And, you know, that's just what it is. And that's, you know, basketball is contagious. And when unselfish play promotes unselfish play, now Jamal's in the lane, you kicking it. Nate's offensive rebound, if he doesn't have a layup, he's kicking it out. And so it's contagious, just like selfish play. And so I think the kids that they are, the staff that we've put together, you know, you mentioned Coach Jones. You know, I believe anybody can coach big guys. You know, Pete Newell's one of the great big man coaches, and he was a smaller guy. But when you have somebody that's played the position and he's developed, you know, when he was at Louisville, he had developed Gorgie Zhang and Montrezl Harrell, and he's been around some of the best players. He's been really, really good for our guys. And he's probably the only guy that might be bigger than Nate. So he can say, Nate, you better get in there or I got you know, which has been a good thing. And then Quincy Pondexter is one of our newer coaches, and a guy that, you know, brings a lot of energy. He's worked with Jamal, and there's very few coaches that can go out in the court and say, this is what it looks like, and then show you, and then go out there and work against it. And then obviously we know Will Conroy has been the heart and soul of our program for a long time. So we got great guys that respect each other, guys that go out there and give it their all every day and help these guys become better on and off the court.
Go to Kim on the right.
Coach, last year, one of the things you struggled with was when Nate would get in foul trouble early, and then you had to put Riley in, probably playing more minutes at a stretch that you wanted him to. You've got some extra bigs this year, so if you put that extra big in, What can you do with Nate? Can you put him out front?
No, I wouldn't put him up front, but Nate's played the forward. Nate knows. You guys remember, a couple of years ago, he got in against USC and he just changed the game with his energy. He played forward. Very few guys his size can move the way he moves. And so just having him on the court defensively has been tremendous. I think the inexperience got him into foul trouble. I think our length on the perimeter hurt him. He was in a lot of vulnerable situations. That's where, it's team defense. It's not one-on-one defense. And so when you have a guy like now Nate and now Jamal and these guys are Emmett, and they're teaching each other. We got these defensive instinctual guys. It protects him. And I think he also learned a lot of ways of how to be able to use his physicality and stay out of foul trouble. I think he's learned the tricks of the trades, and that's where guys like King Jones, a guy who's experienced it and played it, have been able to help him as well. So really, the longer we can have these guys on the court, the better success that we're going to have. And defending without fouling is a big part of it in terms of what we're promoting. One of the stats that he didn't say is we put guys on the foul line a lot. We've got to do a better job at that. So really excited with these guys. Got a long way to go, but I think the potential is what's so exciting as a coach.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Casey Jacobson at a three-point shooting contest or Eldridge or Kastner? Huh? I'm going Eldridge. All right. Go Dogs. Let's go.
Thank you.
Right here. Mike.